The newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Wednesday, July 30, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, President Ali announces long-awaited promotions for more than 2,000 police ranks effective August 1st.
I am grateful for your sacrifices, but we also must be collectively grateful for all of the things that we've been able to achieve.
A state-of-the-art 75-bed hospital opens in Bath, bringing first-time access to dialysis and CT scans in Region 5. Nandlall warns Parliament's seat for sanctioned Azruddin Mohamed could endanger Guyana's financial and diplomatic standing.
This is a person, if he's elected, will expose the country to harm.
PPPC intensifies campaign with James Bond rallying Region 4 support for President Ali. Magistrate witnesses revisit Ashmins Building as 2020 elections fraud trial enters crucial evidence phase. And in sport, Massy Women's CPL set for September 6 to 17 in Guyana, and Montra Jaguars hunting Kares T10 title. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. Thank you for joining us. First up, more than 2,000 ranks of the Guyana Police Force will receive long-awaited promotions from August 1st, 2025 in a sweeping move announced by President Dr. Irfaan Ali during a visit to the force's headquarters at Evelary on Wednesday morning. Addressing hundreds of officers, President Ali acknowledged their dedication and years of service, noting that the promotions will reward those who have met the required years in service and have maintained clean disciplinary records.
As I said, it's not only about salaries and benefits, it's about your work environment. It's about facilities and opportunity. Today we have removed the requirement for senior officers doing degrees, giving any single police the opportunity to do a diploma, a degree, a master's at any level, free of cost under the government policy. And there must be a level of gratefulness. The Bible teaches us that. We are grateful for your service. I am grateful for your sacrifices, but we also must be collectively grateful for all of the things that we have been able to achieve. We have restored the annual bonus that was taken away. These are things that my government gave long before oil and gas, and we continue to give. But I believe that there must be collective responsibility in the system. And I've asked the Commissioner of Police and his deputies to come up with a quarterly evaluation form for every station, because you must take collective responsibility from the commander, from right down to the constable. And in that form, we must address assets that is given to the police. How you take care of the assets that is given to you. The bikes, the vehicles. And the entire station will be marked down. Given the quarterly evaluation, we don't see these things that we kept properly. And will affect promotion. So each one or two will have to hold each other accountable. Isn't that the fair system? Yes, because we have to take collective responsibility. We're investing in these new stations. We're investing in new facilities. And the adjustments we're making, I want us to ensure the population respect us. we're going to continue to improve our infrastructure so that when we have patrols out, Commissioner, these patrols must have a pool in the vehicle with their own water and juice. I don't want police to ask anybody for water to use something.
The new 75-bed hospital at Bath opened on Wednesday afternoon. It is a major boost to public health care in Region 5, offering services never before available there, including a CT scan machine, dialysis treatment, and a 24-hour emergency department. It also houses a modern laboratory and pharmacy, which will be operated on a 24-hour basis. The newsroom's Neil Marks spoke with Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony.
When we're talking about these hospitals, the words transformational, revolutionary are used. Tell me why a piece of equipment like this is really revolutionary for Region 5.
Well, you know, it's the first time Region 5 is actually going to get a CT scanner. This is a 64 slice, and it's the first time this region would have one. Recently, we put in one in Amsterdam, and in all of the new hospitals that we're building, they would all have CT scans.
Tell me about some other special features of this hospital that the people in this region would have had to travel to town for.
So another thing that you should know is that in another section of this hospital, we have 2 dialysis machines. So previously, if you had dialysis patients in Region 5, they either had to go up to New Amsterdam to get access to care at the New Amsterdam hospital, or had to go down to Georgetown. So in that way, now you have dialysis care that will be offered by this hospital. In addition to that, we have set up a special audiology booth. So persons who need to get their ears tested can come here and do those tests. We also have an area for ophthalmology, so you can get all your eye testing done at the hospital. So there are lots of new features. For example, in this region, the Maikoni Hospital, just recently we started operating at Maikoni. Prior to that, there wasn't any operating theater in Region 5. So far at Maikoni, we would have done about 500 elective surgeries.
What are elective surgeries?
Well, planned surgeries. So in this hospital, we now have 3 fully equipped operating theaters. So anybody who, whether it's an emergency surgery or a planned surgery, you'll be able to come here and we can take care of you. Another thing that was missing in this region, they did not have any ICU care. So anybody requiring ICU care had to travel to Georgetown. We now have 3 ICU beds that is in this hospital. We also have a step-down care, meaning that if you're not as severe that warrants ICU, but you're still sick enough that you can't go to the regular ward, then we're able to put you in step-down care. And we have 2 beds in that unit. And it's all fully equipped so we can monitor you, we can give you the best care possible. In addition to all of that, in these hospitals, we have a 24-hour accident and emergency that is available. We also have 24-hour pharmacy. We have 24-hour imaging that would be available. So it's quite updated from the care that used to be provided.
Attorney General Nandlall has raised alarm over the possible election of United States sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohamed to Guyana's parliament, warning that such a move could trigger serious financial and diplomatic repercussions for the country. Speaking during his weekly Tuesday night program Issues in the News, Nandlall warned that electing a sanctioned individual into the National Assembly would place Guyana's governance structure at risk and invite broad penalties affecting both state institutions and private actors.
And once you form part of the governance structure of the country, there are going to be repercussions. That is a statement of fact. The Guyanese electorate will have to deal with that. And the Guyanese people will have to deal with that. And that is why we are saying, this is not a normal competitor. This is a person, if he's elected, will expose the country to harm. He has already been exposing the people associated with him to harm. Visas have already been revoked. Persons are being questioned at the airports. And that has begun a long time ago. Look how many persons have lost their bank accounts at one commercial bank. And I said since last week that once one commercial bank move in this direction, it means that they have determined a threat in the financial system. And the financial system is interconnected. And once there is a threat somewhere in the system, it will contaminate the entire system. And other banks will have to follow suit. And just before I commenced this program, there is a news story that another bank has begun the process of closing down people's accounts with the bank because of their association with Mohammed.
Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George on Tuesday rejected 2 constitutional challenges aimed at overturning Guyana's proportional representation electoral system, ruling that the cases brought by Christopher Ram and Vishnu Bandhu were without merit and failed to demonstrate any breach of the country's constitution. Delivering her decision in the High Court, Justice George made it clear that Guyana's electoral system, long grounded in constitutional reform and legislative clarity, remains lawful and democratic. The Representation of the People's Act, she ruled, does not violate constitutional provisions, contrary to what the claimants alleged.
Proportional representation by itself, by its very character, does not allow for independent candidates to run. So that's the first flaw in the argument. Systemically, Article 160 could not have provided for what he says it provides for, because the system that Article 160 creates, the electoral system, is a proportional representation system which does not allow for independent candidates to contest. That's the first point. The second point is reading Article 160 in its entirety clearly stipulates that only a candidate can only run if that candidate is part of a list system or is connected to or associated with a list of candidates. There is no single candidate that can run by him or herself, and nowhere in ROPA in Article 160 says that. They completely misconstrued Article 160. They plucked words out of it to suit their political expedient position in their cases, in the case. And we had to show the court how Article 160 should be interpreted and how the proportional representation electoral system works. This one was clearly intended to delay the elections, I think. I think that was the driving factor behind it. But when it reached the court and when you start to read it and the case began, I think that intention dissipated quickly, because they realized that when they read our answer and our submissions, I believe they felt quickly that they can't achieve that objective, that the case was not going to be decided. And we managed to persuade the Chief Justice to determine the case long before the elections, so that, you know, one can't say that we have this hovering over our head going to the elections. So all's well that ends well.
In condemning the disrespect police officers are subjected to while performing their duties, Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben also issued a call for systematic reforms in policing. During his address at the National Road Safety Stakeholder Forum on Tuesday, Minister Ben highlighted the daily challenges faced by police officers.
While driving or being driven to work or wherever any day, I get upset when I see how disrespected the police are. Of course, there may be feelings by the police now and again, but I think it's a fairly invidious job, getting insults every day from people who are using the roads, and then when people think that the police will do them something, they may want to offer a bribe or call the minister or somebody that they know. Well, usually I will tell the police, charge them. So don't call me anybody. I will tell the police to charge, issue the ticket, which is what they should do on the road. We have to increase the listing or the numbers for ticketable offenses, which will make it easy. Persons will not have to go to the police station, because people, even though we're building the new police stations, and I'm saying to the police, I opened a couple stations the other day, the police station must be a welcoming place to people. It must be a place where those who are traumatized, which could be both the victim and the perpetrator too, that it should somehow be a welcoming and calming place with the police, at the police station. And this is why we have bought the body cameras to assist with some of those things, and putting in the video systems in the police station to bring about a change. Even the lockups must have beds and pillows and things for people to sleep on and lie on. Yes, 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 yes. Because I was traumatized myself when I went to the BV police station one time, and there were 4 young ladies lying on the cold concrete floor at 3 o'clock in the morning. We can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that. It's disrespectful to them, to us, to the wider society, and it creates a disrespectful criminal justice system. We don't have to treat ourselves like we used to be treated by other people many years ago. We've inherited these behaviors and attitudes to each other. They're inherited.
With just over a month to go before elections, the governing People's Progressive Party Civic PPPC ramped up its campaign effort on Tuesday with a major public meeting at the corner of Durban and Hill Streets in Georgetown. Drawing a large and energetic crowd, the event featured fiery remarks from attorney at law and politician James Bond, who declared that Region 4 must be delivered to President Dr. Irfan Ali. Bond also speaking alongside Minister Susan Rodriguez, Housing, Business Development and Healthcare, contrasting it sharply with the opposition's claims.
It is this election must be won. The president said at industry, he says, I want Region 4. The president of this country, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, says he wants to win Region 4. But I could tell you, I was the campaign manager for East Bank under the coalition. I was deputy campaign manager for Georgetown on the coalition. And if I tell you they're weak in Region 4 and we could beat them, we're going to win Region 4! Take it from me. Take it from me. We are going to whip them in Region 4. Right now you look around. Your sisters and brothers from Buxton are here. Your sisters and brothers from Melanie are here. Your sisters and brothers from the East Bank all over are here. We will win Region number 4.
Since 1950, we in the service of
DJ, when I get here, I want to beat and teach. That's the only song I want to hear. Beat and teach.
We have to keep working hard. We have to keep working to win the hearts and minds of people. We are not taking any chances, and we are not taking anything for granted. Every last vote we are after. Every last heart and mind we are after. And so we need all of you to speak to people, to take them to the polling stations on the 1st of September. Organize yourselves, all of you who have a vehicle, help people, transport them to the polling stations, help them to get in their ballots, teach them how to vote if they don't know, tell them about your party, tell them that they are welcome in the People's Progressive Party Civic, and we will work to improve their lives. So we are counting on you to help us to do that.
Magistrate Faith McGusty on Wednesday led a site visit to the Ashmins Building in Georgetown, a central location reference throughout the fraud trial into the 2020 elections, where several key witnesses identified specific areas referenced in their testimonies.
The Ashmins Building housed the Guyana Elections Commission GCOM Command Center during the 2020 elections. It is a central location in the ongoing trial into the March 2020 elections. On Wednesday, presiding Magistrate Faith McGusty led a site visit to the location. The visit forms part of the ongoing legal proceedings involving 9 individuals charged with conspiring to manipulate the 2020 elections results in favor of the APNU-AFC coalition. Present at the site were Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag, local observer Rosalinda Rasul, former Region 4 Police Commander Edgar Thomas, and Kian Jabor, each of whom was taken into the building individually to identify and clarify locations they had spoken about in their testimonies. The prosecution led questioning during the inspection, which was video recorded, and several measurements were taken. Key areas identified included the tabulation room on the ground floor and the balcony where the former Region 4 returning officer Clement Mingo allegedly made a false declaration of the election's results. Thomas, who had responded to a report at the location, pointed out a room where former GCOM staff member Enrique Livan was reportedly found. Meanwhile, Jabor directed the court to an upstairs room where GCOM chairperson, retired Justice Claudette Singh, was said to be during the events in question. The site inspection was conducted in the presence of the prosecution and defense attorneys as well as the defendants. Such visits are standard legal procedures in both civil and criminal trials, designed to help the court gain first-hand knowledge of the physical environment referenced in the testimony, clarify evidence, and resolve any discrepancies. 9 individuals are currently before the court charged with conspiring to manipulate the election results in favor of APNU-AFC, thereby seeking to deny victory to the PPP. Those charged include former Government Minister Waldo Lawrence, former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowingfield, former Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, and former Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers, among others. The trial has been adjourned to September 15. For the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
More news ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back, you're watching the newsroom. There is a wave of excitement across Region 5 as the first ever regional hospital has officially opened its doors at Bath. Residents will no longer have to travel long distances for critical care. The 75-bed facility is equipped with a CT scan machine and dialysis units, both first for the region, and offers 24-hour emergency services along with a full laboratory and pharmacy. The Regional Health Officer, Dr. Teresa Sarju, spoke with the newsroom's Neil Marks, explaining the services the hospital will offer.
So, Doc, this is a really exciting day for you.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the first regional hospital in Region 5 here. So it's a big development here for the residents of Region 5.
People have been talking about it.
Yes, a lot. And as you can see, it's a very modern facility. There's so many changes based on our old facility at Fort Wellington here that we're going to have here at Bath Regional Hospital.
Right, so you've put up all these pictures on display to say exactly what you have in this hospital. So if you can walk me through.
Okay. So here we have a basic consultation room. We have more than one of this in the hospital. You'll find them in the outpatient, the A&E, the clinics area. Here is just a preview of what our NICU area would look like. And here we have the lab. This is where we're going to have all our testing done for the laboratory testing here, right?
What are different tests that you would be able to do now that you weren't able to do before?
So basically, we are able to do biochemistry, PSA, which is for the men. We're able to do hematology, and a whole bunch of other tests that we're going to add. There's a lot to mention at this time.
Sure.
Over here, this is one of our operating theater. In this hospital, we have 3 operating theater, 2 on the upper flat, and the first time here, we have an operating theater in our A&E, so we can go directly from a patient coming in. We don't have to wait until, to come upstairs. We can do it right at the A&E here. Here, this is a big one for us here in Region 5. This is the first CT in this region. We never had this service. We usually send our patient to either GPHC or New Amsterdam for CT. So now the residents don't need to travel. They can have all of this service here, right here at Bath Regional Hospital. Here is our dental unit. It's have 2 seats, as you can see here. We had this service before, but it's a big upgrade for us, the modern facility here. Here is another picture of one of the operating theater that is on the upper flat here. Over here we have an X-ray, digital X-ray here, which is on the lower flat, radiology there. So this here we'll be able to do our patient through digitally. We don't have to use the film anymore that is outdated. We're ready to see our first patient.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Nandlall has accused opposition parties of making outlandish campaign promises they never intend to keep and branding their pledges as deceptive tricks aimed at manipulating the electorate. Speaking during his regular Tuesday night commentary, Nandlall said the opposition has neither the record nor the capacity to deliver on the ambitious proposals now being marketed as part of their election campaigns.
So I see one presidential candidate promising house lots free for every person who attains the age of 18 years. And there is no explanation how this is going to be done, no estimation of how many house lots we are speaking about, and where the money will come from, and what will happen to the backlog of existing house lots applications if you're going to only address those who turn 18, and what about those who have turned 18 already and are not given a house lot. And I could go into any one of these promises, the different things that are not being told to you. But these promises are being dangled in front of people with the hope, I suppose, of conning them into believing. Now, this party, when it was in government, between 2015 to 2020, did not develop a single housing scheme. Did not develop a single housing scheme to which it can point and say As part of the coalition government, we constructed or we built this housing scheme. None. What they did for 5 years was simply distribute house lots that were left back by the PPP government in housing schemes built by PPP government. And to distribute those house lots, they only did about 7,000 in 5 years. We have done 50,000 in 5 years. We gave out the 58,000th title. Last week, our Minister of Housing did that. 50,000 in a 5-year period. These guys are new housing schemes. These guys did not do a single housing scheme. They gave 7,000 house lots from remaining PPP housing schemes when we were in government. And out of the 7,000, I am telling you about 5,000 or more were given to their family and relatives, not to the ordinary Guyanese. But they are out of government now, and they are promising one house lot for every person who turns 18, free of cost. That is the kind of three-card trick that the population is being dealt with whole day.
Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben believes much of the ongoing violence in Guyana are perpetrated by toxic men, and so he made a plea for urgent change and emphasized the need to directly engage men. In response, Minister Ben said the government is planning to ramp up public education and outreach beginning in schools, homes, and then extend it to newspapers, magazines, and social media with the aim of reshaping masculinity.
Much of our problems in Guyana relates to the behavior of men. We men are the worst examples. We men have to be better. Amen. And the police force has the difficult and invidious task of working to deal with bad men. And the prison service got 2,300, I think, some number like that, men in the prison. I think there are only 75 bad ladies in the prison, and they're the best of prisoners. So we have to speak to men, we have to engage with men, they must not pass a policeman on the road playing dirty music in the minibus or car and loud. It is that culture, whether it's a minibus or car. They must not, when women are passing through the marketplaces and so on, they're assaulting them verbally and otherwise. It wouldn't change overnight, but we have to take the action. We have to take action. We have to identify it and speak out about it. Of course, the men are insecure, dysfunctional. They can't handle the fact that maybe somebody who is perhaps their daughter is better educated, more eloquent, more intelligent, more responsible than they themselves. So I'm saying this because all of the great troubles we have relate to male behavior. We think that we got money power, we got physical power, we got sexual power, we must all be on top. That is where we run from. So it's a whole of government approach that we have to have in relation to these matters. It has to start in the schools. It has to start in the home. It has to continue in the conversations we're having in the newspapers and the magazine and in social media. And it has to deal too with proper use of social media.
At an event held to mark the 215th anniversary of Colombia's independence and the official reopening of the Colombian embassy in Guyana, Both countries reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with a clear focus on two shared priorities: citizen security and sustainable development. To commemorate the occasion, a ceremony was held at the World Trade Center in Georgetown on Tuesday.
Colombia and Guyana, as continental neighbors, have enjoyed long-standing diplomatic relations since 1970. Our countries have engaged in a meaningful bilateral program of cooperation in the areas of language training, disaster risk management, agriculture, and capacity building. Our states are now at a place where the prospects for deepening and expanding bilateral cooperation, including trade, investments, and commercial ties, are greater than they have ever been. In this regard, the government of Guyana welcomes the opportunity to strengthen the partnership between our two countries and applauds the commitment on your government's part with the re-establishment of an embassy in Guyana and your appointment, Excellency, as resident ambassador. These events now create an appropriate conduit for the implementation and execution of a renewed bilateral agenda. Excellency, Guyana and Colombia are strongly committed to the values of democracy, respect for the rule of law, human rights and fundamental freedoms, sovereignty and territorial integrity, and to the upholding of these values at the hemispheric and global levels. Guyana recognizes that combating organized crime, strengthening citizen security, and maintaining Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace remain matters of the highest priority for our two countries. As we continue to navigate shared challenges such as climate change, transnational crime, and economic inequality, Guyana remains ever ready to advance our partnership with Colombia to build capacity, promote sustainability, and protect our natural environments.
May this evening serve not only as a celebration of independence, but also a reaffirmation of our commitment to deepen partnership in every possible field. This evening also marked the official reopening of the Embassy of Colombia in Guyana, a moment of renewed purpose and optimism. We are pleased to highlight in this occasion with the presence of a distinguished business delegation and investor coordinated by ProColombia in alliance with our embassy. These delegations are represented for over more than 30 companies and investors specializing in construction and infrastructure. They are here exploring investment opportunities. Thanks to the joint effort of Go Invest Guyana, ProColombia, and the embassy, we signed an MOU to promote and facilitate cross-border investment between Colombia and Guyana. This agreement set a clear framework for cooperation in key areas such as participation in trade fair, business missions, joint project development, and information exchange of investment opportunities. We look forward to continue strengthening the cooperation with Guyana in strategic areas as energy transition, AI, emerging technologies, sustainable agriculture and agri-industry, ecotourism, circular economies, and overall the protection of the Amazon. These areas is where Colombia sees potential for dialogue, exchange, and collaborative progress, guided by the values we share. I would like to acknowledge and value the important contribution that the Colombia private sector is already making in Guyana. With the official reopening of our embassy this evening, we now have a strong and more permanent institutional platform to support, accompany, and expand these efforts. We are here to serve.
The vibrant rhythms of Afrobeat returns this emancipation season with the 4th edition of the popular event set for Thursday, August 1st at Tribe Lounge. This year's theme, The Lost Safari, promises a deeper cultural connection, highlighting not just music but the significance of emancipation and its meaning for young emerging leaders. Organizer Enzo Machu says patrons can expect 4 hours of non-stop Afrobeats, complimentary cook-up, and new this year is a VIP experience with unlimited drinks.
Afrobeats is basically an event that I would have done or started about 2020 to really celebrate myself in business as a young Black entrepreneur doing business, and I really associated with emancipation. So what we're doing this year, we're kicking off the Emancipation Weekend, with this event for everyone to really come and enjoy. And we would have really been surprised at the beginning of all of this when persons were fully decked out in African wear and they were so enjoying it. So we just realized that this should be an annual event, and now here we are, the 4th edition. So, Afrobeats, again, to go back directly to your question, is an event for everyone, especially young people who are young, growing up and emancipating themselves to become leaders themselves. Point to note, Afrobeats is not just about the music, it's more of culture and emancipation and what it stands for. Because we usually, like last year, we did a concept called Coming to America, with the flowers and you're walking and all of these things. So, with all of this in mind, looking forward to the event this year, we're doing a theme called the Lost Safari. And you might say, how are we going to bring a safari to Tribe? I would say, come and see. The music has not been as very Afro-oriented because Guyanese always come to the DJ and say, listen, we're tired here that we want to hear some Afro beats. So we would have done a special project with about 3 of our local DJs and 1 international to really bring about 4 hours of amazing Afrobeats music. Honestly, we have been checking off every single box before, all right? And for the first time, we have never had a VIP on this event. This is the first year we'll be having a VIP, which we'll be giving away, or I wouldn't say giveaway, a part of the section, which is the upper flat of Tribe, will have unlimited Hennessy for the entire evening. All patrons also get complimentary cook-up that they can eat. They don't need to go anywhere after the event. You can stay right here and enjoy your cook-up and keep partying some more. It's an event, whatever you perceive it of, you come and enjoy it in that manner. And we're doing Afrobeats this year for both floors. The upstairs will be a VIP area, and also we'll have the ground floor, and we'll have that as a general. Every single day until about Thursday, you're going to get tickets from 3 p.m. all the way up to close, which most times is 12 p.m. You can go to any one of the waiters or the bartenders at Tribe and ask them for those Afrobeats tickets, and you will be able to get those tickets. If that's not an option for you, you can do pot salt events. They have an MMG option if you don't have a credit card. Anybody that purchased over 5 tickets before the event date, we'll be giving you a reserved table absolutely free. Not to worry about what you have to wear anything with a print. Tickets are $5,000 for the general and $15,000 for the VIP. So I mean, for the value that you're getting, it's amazing.
When the newsroom returns, financial, weather, and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us. Welcome back now for a look at what's happening in sport. We start things off with some cricket news. Cricket fans can look forward to an exciting showcase of world-class women's T20 cricket at the 2025 Massy Women's Carbon Premier League comes to Guyana from September 6th to the 17th at the National Stadium, Providence. The tournament will feature 3 teams: the Barbados Royals, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, and Trinbago Knight Riders. They will battle it out over 6 group stage matches, culminating in a thrilling final on September 17. Each team will play 4 group stage matches, with the 2 top sides advancing to the final to compete for the coveted WCPL title. The tournament was officially launched today in Guyana.
We are not just sponsoring a tournament. We are investing in possibilities. We are backing the extraordinary talent of Caribbean women who represent courage, excellence, determination. These athletes are not only shaping the future of the game, they are redefining leadership, ambition, and strength for a new generation. The WCPL is a platform to elevate women, not only as athletes, but as icons, role models, and agents of change. And Massy is proud to stand beside them. Our support for this league is part of a larger mission. Massy is committed to advancing women's empowerment in sport, in business, and in every space where potential thrives. Across our group, women are at the forefront, leading teams, driving innovation, and building communities.
Cricket in the Caribbean is more than a sport. It unites us, it inspires us, and reflects who we are. And today, women's cricket stands as a living symbol of what's possible when talent is nurtured and given a fair chance. The values we celebrate on the pitch, resilience, teamwork, courage, and ambition, are the same values that Massy lives by. As title sponsor for the Women's CPL, we're not just supporting a tournament, we're sending a message that talent has no gender, that young girls have every right to take guard, to step to the crease, and to lead their teams to victory. That the boundaries they faced in life are meant to be clear, just like a perfectly timed shot over the ropes.
W.R. Riaz, part of the management team for Montra Jaguars, has indicated they are back to the drawing board as they look to find the best squad to challenge in 2024. Riaz indicated the finals are a significant occasion for the team after they won the Berby Zone in late June. Montra will face Eccles All-Stars in the second semi-final, while Titans All-Star battle Madhya Movement's family in the first on August 3 at the National Stadium, Providence.
We're excited to be part of this. We're also looking forward to going to the stadium because, like you rightfully said, we placed second. We had the feel of it. We will regroup and we will take that as a whole new tournament with some drafting all together, like you rightfully mentioned. And we go back to the drawing board. We will celebrate, we will be jolly, we will be happy, but we're going back to the drawing board because that is another big leg for us.
Guyana has been awarded the hosting rights for the 2026 Carbon Development Archery Championships, a landmark achievement for the nation's sporting scene. Archery Guyana, the country's national federation, made the historic announcement following a successful bid against Jamaica. Sergio Font, Secretary General of World Archery Americas, confirmed the decision after a vote among eligible English-speaking Caribbean confederations. This victory is a testament to Archery Guyana's growing capabilities, highlighted by a recent readiness exercise at the Lenora Track and Field Facility during its 2025 Outdoor National Championships. Marcus Watkins of Avinash All-Stars has declared the Kares 1 Guyana T10 tape ball blast a good initiative, and he foresees further growth in the future and more teams to build stronger squads, which lends to high-quality competition.
It's always a good initiative from the inception. It's actually good, you know, we're bringing out back the love and the passion for cricket back into the communities. And it's an excellent initiative. I think that, you know, this leg of the tournament was actually exciting and fun. At the end of the day, we didn't come out, I know that would be a next question, we didn't come out victorious, but it was a good tournament. To play here at this, the new stadium and the facility, our first facility at Hampton Court, it was excellent, the ground was very nice. The conditions was good, and for me, you know, it's just for the excitement and the love of the game. I think a couple of teams, you know, invested and brought some overseas guys. But if you look around, even in the different zones, all the good players are actually in teams. So let me say teams like us now, you know, we came together last minute, so, you know, we had to look outside, and thank God the competition committee allowed us to, you know, bring in some good players to make it more competitive. I see going forward next season, I figure a lot of other players and other persons, sponsors and so are going to come on board and do the actual same thing.
After a 2-year absence, the GFF Elite League makes its long-awaited return to the National Track and Field Centre Lenora, and Slingers FC head coach Jamal Shabazz sees Sunday's doubleheader as a moment for the West Demerara community to reunite through football. Slingers FC, the league leaders and unbeaten this season, will defend their flawless record in the feature match at 9 p.m. against second-place Western Tigers. The opening match at 7 p.m. sees Denamstel looking to claim 3 crucial points against bottom-of-the-table mainstay Gold Star. Sunday's clash will mark Slingers FC's first home game since rejoining the Elite League last season. And with that, we've come to the end of this newscast. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Kurt Campbell saying thank you.